I'm sorry.
Jenny Lynn.
Jenny Lynn. Yeah, I know it. Jenny Lynn James, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Today we have the honor to be interviewing Dr. Jenny Lynn James. She is an international expert on food quality and safety. Okay, so we would like to know more about yourself. So my first question is going to be, what inspired you to pursue a career in food safety and quality?
Okay, so after university,
Yes.
I came across in my first job they wanted somebody to develop food safety programs for farming operations.
Okay.
I had never worked in this field before, okay? And back in that time, it was a relatively new idea to have food safety programs in the farm,
Yes.
right? Very
Was
new
innovating.
idea, yes. So I literally started from scratch because a lot of information was not available at that time. Now it is, because it was before certifications for farms, before. So it was a matter of using the HACCP programs, the principles of HACCP, hazard analysis and critical control points, and applying these processes, these ideas in farming operations to see if they could work. And training employees, just keeping it simple. If you have people who are harvesting fruit, if you think about it, are their hands clean? Are they using clean clothes? How can we avoid product contamination? So a lot of it was common sense, looking at possible hazards with employees, hazards with, let's say, irrigation water that was not clean, right? Hazards with over fertilizing or putting too much insecticide. We had to think of all the possible hazards in the farm and find ways to avoid contaminating product. And so that was my introduction to food safety. My first job, this was in California. And after that, I got really excited by the prospect of looking at food safety, not in the farms only, but also in the processing plants, etc. And that's how my career started, and it continues to this day, training people based on my experience of working for so many years in the industry.
See, yeah, because it was something very new that you have to explore.
Yes.
And now you have the experience to share all that knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, well, we know all the careers and jobs have many difficulties. Mm-hmm. You, as an expert, can you give us your opinion in what is the main challenge in these industries to maintain food quality and safety?
Okay, so the challenge could be keeping up to date with changes in the industry. So new, let's say in food manufacturing, for example, you have ingredients that have been used for decades, and then somebody finds out, well, this particular ingredient is a carcinogen, it's cancer causing. Then everybody has to pivot, right? We knew this was safe for years. You have to change and find some other ingredient to replace it, but an ingredient that would be safe for the consumers and give the same quality, right? So keeping up to date with changes, that's always a challenge in when it comes to ingredients. And then when it comes to food fraud and substitution happens all the time in the food industry, okay? You always have somebody trying to replace an expensive ingredient with a cheap one. So people have to keep up to date with what is happening.
Yes, because if it's cheaper, not always it's because it's bad, but you have to check that.
Yes, because just think, you have on your label a list of ingredients, but the ingredient supplier sends you a fake ingredient, so it means your list of ingredients is no longer valid. If you didn't know, and let's say the government takes your product, they do tests on it, and they find an ingredient that is illegal, your company could be fined, your business could be shut down, So that's another challenge that a lot of manufacturers need to deal with. What ingredients makes the company vulnerable when it comes to fraud and substitution? And then your employees, you have to keep them happy. Otherwise, they will sabotage the company. So that's another challenge. So there's a program called Product Safety Culture, and it's getting more and more airplay. A company must have a product safety culture program. How are you going to keep your employees happy? So if they are happy, then you know your product is safe, right? It's what you say you're selling, that's what you're selling, because nobody will want to sabotage the company if they're happy in the job.
Okay, well, I'm sure you know, but here in the faculty we have two careers that can relate to this subject. We have food engineering and biotechnology engineering.
Yeah.
So I would like you to give an advice to the futures engineers in this subject. Yes.
Right. Well, when it comes to your career, you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. What I studied and what I did for 25 years are kind of two different things. Because I studied, in molecular genetics, but then I did not use, it was with food industry applications, but after doing my PhD, I didn't use that knowledge. I went in a completely different direction. You have to be able to, yes, you studied in a particular field, but you could change. You could change many times, actually. You're not obligated to stay in one field. I don't know why some people think they are obligated, but you're not. You see what is trending, what is interesting to you, and how you can use your skills in that particular field, and then you go in that direction. So that's my advice.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, we have also industrial engineering, so I think that can also lead that way.
Yes. What are your skills? You can use your skills in many different fields. Sometimes you have to be creative and use the skills that you gain in university in a different type of job that is not typical. And if it's possible, you use your skills to create your own business. That's the advice that I would give people every day. No need to wait for a boss to pay you a salary every month. Use your skills and create a completely new business that nobody has thought about. Because you learn the skills so that it could help you create. Especially in engineering, there's a lot of creativity in engineering. So use the knowledge that you learn to create a business.
Thank you. That's such a useful advice, I think, for our generation. We thank you so much for your time. This was a brilliant interview. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.